this hour of the night, the building has settled into its slowest state. Most of the lights are already dimmed. Only the sorting hall remains active. Nothing here is in a hurry. You don't need to pay close attention. The words can stay in the background, like machinery working without being watched. The hall stretches wide and open. Conveyor belts run in long, straight lines. Metal frames hold them in place. Packages move steadily, never colliding, never stopping. Above, fluorescent lights glow softly. They do not flicker. They do not brighten. Their hum blends into the space, becoming part of it. Boxes slide along the belts, some small, some wide and flat. Each follows its path without deviation. No item hesitates. At the far end, a chute guides parcels downward. Gravity does the work. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The motion feels automatic, practiced, reliable. The air inside the hall stays cool. Fans circulate it evenly. No corner feels different from another. The temperature remains constant. Labels pass beneath scanners. Lights blink once, then hold. No alarms sound. No errors appear. Time begins to loosen here. Minutes are not counted. The rhythm replaces the clock. Movement defines the moment, not duration. A package reaches the end of one belt. It transfers smoothly to the next. The line continues without interruption. Nothing breaks the flow. The floor beneath remains clear. Yellow markings stay visible. No footsteps cross them. The hall feels orderly and contained. Somewhere nearby, a motor adjusts its speed. Only slightly, just enough to match the line. Then it holds again. The sound of the belts stays even, low, consistent. It never rises. It never fades completely. Overhead, cables remain fixed. They carry power silently. No vibration reaches the frame. Everything feels secured in place. The packages continue their quiet travel, turn after turn, section after section. No destination feels closer. No endpoint announces itself. Time spreads evenly across the hall. Moments sit beside one another. Nothing urges them forward. The work continues because it always does. A stack of empty bins waits near the wall, aligned, unused. They will remain there until needed. The lights above maintain their spacing, each pool of brightness identical to the next. Shadows remain soft and predictable. Nothing shifts within them. The belts guide parcels through curves and merges, each change gentle, each transition smooth. No sudden movement appears. The hall feels awake, but not alert, active, but calm. The routine carries itself. Outside the walls, the rest of the building stays dark. Offices remain closed. Doors doors stay locked. Nothing beyond the hall responds. Inside, the motion continues uninterrupted. One item clears a scanner. Another follows immediately. The pattern remains unchanged. The sound becomes familiar enough to fade. Metal, rubber, air. None of it asks for attention. Time loosens further. There is no sense of nearing an end. No signal for completion. Only continuation. A belt slows briefly, then matches the others again. The adjustment passes unnoticed. The flow remains intact. The hall does not react to the hour. It does not prepare to stop. It simply continues its function. Neutral. Steady. The packages keep moving. The belts keep turning. The lights keep glowing. Each part holds its role without effort. The space feels balanced now. Nothing missing. Nothing extra. Everything exists exactly as needed. There is no announcement. No change in tone. No cue for transition. The work does not acknowledge the night. The hall stretches on in the same calm state. Orderly. Predictable. Contained. Nothing breaks the rhythm. Time no longer feels separate from motion. It blends into it, becomes part of the process. Unnoticed, the belts guide each package onward, one by one, without pause. The system remains aligned. The lights continue their quiet glow. The air remains cool. The sound remains even. Nothing presses forward. The sorting hall stays awake. The rest of the building stays asleep. The night holds both in place, and the steady movement continues, quiet and uninterrupted, through the long hours before morning. The sorting hall continues without pause. Nothing signals a change in pace. No indicator shifts. The rhythm holds exactly as it is. Conveyor belts keep their steady motion. Rubber surfaces move beneath the packages. Metal frames remain silent and firm. The alignment does not drift. Boxes continue to pass beneath the lights. Corners stay sharp. Labels remain visible. Each one follows its lane without deviation. Above, the lights maintain their soft glow. They do not brighten. They do not dim. Their presence feels constant, almost unnoticed. The sound of the belts remains even, a low, continuous layer, neither rising nor falling. It blends into the space, then into the background of the night. Packages reach junctions and split calmly. One turns left, another continues straight. The decision feels automatic, built into the system. No human movement crosses the floor. No footsteps appear. Yellow safety lines remain clear and untouched. The hall feels wide and open. Time begins to stretch further. Minutes lose their edges. The motion replaces any sense of counting. The work defines the moment, one section, parcels slow slightly, then resume their pace. The change is subtle. The flow remains uninterrupted. Fans continue to circulate the air, cool and even. No drafts form. The temperature stays balanced throughout the hall. A scanner light flashes briefly. One package passes, then another. The signal does not repeat unnecessarily. No alert follows. Overhead, cables remain fixed. They carry power invisibly. No vibration reaches the structure. Everything feels anchored. The belts curve gently around support columns. Angles soften. Transitions remain smooth. Nothing jolts or shifts suddenly. The hall feels awake in a quiet way. Not alert, not tense. Simply active, as it has been for hours. Outside the hall, silence remains complete. Offices stay dark. Corridors remain empty. No sound reaches inside. Packages continue their steady journey. Some pause briefly at a merge, then continue onward. The system absorbs the moment, then releases it. Time spreads evenly across the floor. Moments sit beside one another. No sequence feels more important than another. Nothing presses for completion. A stack of processed parcels waits at the far end. Aligned, stable. They will move later, not now. The lights overhead continue without variation. Pools of brightness repeat. Shadows remain soft and predictable. The environment stays consistent. Belts guide parcels through gentle rises and drops. Gravity assists. Motors compensate. The balance holds without effort. The sound of movement becomes familiar enough to fade. Metal, rubber, air. None of it demands attention anymore. Time loosens again. There is no sense of approaching an end. No signal prepares the system to stop. The routine feels self-sustaining. A belt slows fractionally to match another, then settles. The adjustment passes unnoticed. The line continues seamlessly. The hall does not respond to the approaching morning. It does not anticipate daylight. It simply continues its function. Neutral, reliable. Packages keep moving. Belts keep turning. Lights keep glowing. Each element holds its role exactly as intended. The space feels complete. Nothing missing. Nothing excessive. Everything exists in balance. No announcement breaks the sound. No change in tone appears. No cue suggests transition. The work remains uninterrupted. Time no longer feels separate from motion. It dissolves into the rhythm, becomes part of the process itself. Unobserved, the belts carry each package forward, one after another, without hesitation. The system stays aligned. Air continues to circulate. Lights continue to glow. Sound continues to hum. Nothing urges the moment forward. The sorting hall remains awake. The rest of the building remains asleep. The night holds both steadily in place, and the quiet movement continues, even and contained, through the remaining hours before dawn. The sorting hall remains steady as the night thins. No signal marks a final cycle. No system prepares to slow. The motion continues without awareness of time. Conveyor belts keep their pace. Packages pass beneath the lights. Each one follows its path, then leaves the frame of attention. Nothing lingers. The sound settles into a single, even layer. Not loud, not quiet. It feels constant enough to disappear, as if the hall is breathing on its own. Lights overhead maintain their calm glow. They do not anticipate change. They simply remain on, holding the space together. The floor stays clear. Lines remain visible. No movement crosses them. The hall feels ordered and complete. Outside the walls, the building remains dark. Inside, the work continues without urgency. Neither state presses against the other. Both exist side by side. Time no longer feels separate from the motion. Minutes dissolve into repetition. The rhythm replaces counting. Nothing needs to be measured. A package reaches the end of a belt. Another follows immediately. The sequence continues, unbroken and unremarkable. The system absorbs each moment, then releases it. There is no final task, no last item, no clear conclusion. The routine does not resolve, it simply holds. The hall remains awake in its quiet way. The night remains present around it. Neither announces what comes next. They coexist without instruction. Belts continue to turn. Lights continue to glow. Air continues to move. Each element stays aligned, supporting the others without effort. The sorting hall does not end. It does not pause. It remains exactly as it is, and the steady motion carries on, contained and even, as the night gently loosens its hold and the unseen hours pass by.